So George has picked our campsite for the night. Beau's just unpacking stuff from the roof. Gonna have a bit of lunch. It's a good looking little spot. Nice and flat. Be lovely in here tonight. Great bit of stargazing is going to go on. So this is tonight's camp. So what we're going to do, we're going to work along these river flats you can see. Lots and lots of alluvial gold. 17,000 Chinese miners. So up there on that side you can see that's a creek flat where they camped. Same on this side. I'm going to explore a bit. Colin's up there behind me. We're going to look for slate flooring where they had their tents or their little huts, and see if we can ping a few Chinese relics. So let's get into it. Well, we've just come up onto the flats where we know the Chinese miners were camped in this area. I've got this first repeatable target, and it's a pinfire hole. There's a little pin sticking up there. That's a ripper. There's my next target. It's a beautiful little brass dome-shaped object with a hole in it. It looks very Chinese to me. It was a solid 80 on the AT Max. Very heavy little casting. I'm going to check with George what that may be. It could be a Chinese relic, or I don't think it's a lamp part, but it's definitely a very well machined item of some significance. So we'll just find out what that is, and I'll subtitle any information on it. Well, this target could be a Chinese cash coin. It's a repetitive 5860. You can see I pulled back a bit of grass and an inch of the silk there. It's a pretty solid, compact and repeatable target, and the target ID is very consistent. So we'll see. I've been wrong in the past, but generally if those cast brass coins are laying flat, I mean they're not all the same because they're cast, so that they're all different weights and slightly different diameters and that kind of thing. Generally the 5860 brass. Okay, the target's out. Cone roll doesn't sound so good now, does it? Let's see. Could be a bit of opium tin. Took a bit of damage there in the last bush, or bashed through. Tend to push through the bushes, the thorn bushes, rather than go around them. There it goes down there. Oh, it's another pinfire hole. Well, that's flattened, so it gave a good signal. Well, I'm back in the hole there. There it is. Okay. Put it in the pouch and we'll clean this up. Colin's just asked me about a find over here, and she'll take her down and show her the graves there. What do you got here?
Is it just a washer? It's not quite a round hole, it's a bit off centre.
Oh yeah, unless it is a worn washer. Thinking it might be a little coin or something.
I don't know. I'll wash it and see.
Yeah, give it a clean.
And that was the other thing I found before.
Oh, okay, that's some sort of handle or a mechanism or something.
Yeah. It's
nice.
Purposeful. Yeah. Okay, this target I just dug up. I'm not sure, but it may be a pinfire bullet. Or part of one. I'll have to just confirm with Warren. But there were other signals in the hole. So I'll just continue on and see if there's anything else. This was just another signal in the hole. Something in there. Okay, so there it is. Another one. I think they're pinfire bullets, but with a shell off it anyway, so okay. It's the same hole, and another pinfire shell, I think. Yeah, nice solid signal. It's only 43 or so, but still worth digging.
Well, my next target, a couple of bends down the creek. It's been a while since I've had a target, is this musket ball, which has hit something. Nice solid piece of lead shot. Goes about 6 inches down too.
Just doing a bit of exploring, and this next dig brings up an old timer's button. Looks like it's pretty dirty. It may be a bit corroded. May have a maker's name on it, I think. But when we clean it up, we'll be able to investigate it further.
Here's my next recovery. It's a nice brass 4-hole button. No maker's name evident, but that's definitely 1870s, 1880s era. Well, the sun's starting to fade behind us. We're here sort of hiking back to camp to have a bit of dinner and a cold beverage before crawling into the swags. But I got this nice little button just now as a 58 signal. I'm back up on the flat where I started about 2 hours ago. I'll come back here in the morning and give it a real going over. Well, what we've got here is a Chinese cooking oven. It's just river stone, and it's got cemented together with ant bed and clay. So this would have been the centre of activity in the evenings when all the cooking was going on. And that's why we're on this flat looking for relics. So lots of Chinese miners from 1872 onwards. So it's a lovely piece of history just sitting out here in the bush in a very remote spot.
Okay, so this is always a nice little surface find, a boot hill. Now that's really quite old. It's quite deteriorated.
I've just wandered into a little encampment on a creek bend flat. Lots of iron, but another beautiful pinfire hull. Look at that. I tend to think, and feel free to correct me, that the Chinese miners, generally armed with knives and axes, but we find a lot of pinfire rounds in their camps. Not so much the Snyders and the Martini Henrys, so maybe they had pinfire revolvers, which are, I think, were French origin, like a 10-round revolver. And that little pin sat in the slot in the chamber. I go live with this one, 54, 55, 56. Just alongside that pinfire round I just got. That's nice and compact and high tone, not far from the coil. So we'll go live here. And could be a lead nugget. I just found a little piece of lead. Fairly typical find in these sort of conditions is lead. Okay, just there on the surface. The reason I'm digging the 55s are, it's obviously the gold range, and also where the Chinese coins come in, the cast coins, cash coins. So I'm going to walk past a 55. Not when it's repeatable like that. Okay, it's in the pile, I didn't see anything come out. Oh, it's a button. Nice one. Little 4-hole button. That's a European miner, Australian or American or English, Irish miners. Not so much the things that the Chinese wore. They wore tunics with the little ball sort of buttons with the loop on them. No brand once again, so that's going to be 1870s, 1880s. Just hooked up with Colleen again. She's on her way over. She's got a target over there. This is a little camp I'm working. I'm getting all the glass fragments, a couple of pinfires, buttons. Just went up in the back, and this looks like it's been levelled and flattened. Maybe it was a little tent or a hut. I've got a screaming 65. I can just scrape back the dirt. It was almost just under the leaves. Look at this. Bit of archaeology here. Bit of history being revealed. We've got a beautiful little cash coin. Look at that. That's a half cash. That's a ripper, that one. And I think there's another target here in that vicinity. So look at that. That was just basically laying there with a little bit of soil and leaf litter on top of it. What a ripper. You can just see that's the mint mark that side, and the cash designation. This would be the Emperor side. Okay, that's why I just got that one half cache. Listen to this. Similar signal. It'll be just under the soil there. Be another Chinese cache coin. Down in here, somewhere abouts. Colin's just come over to join me. Beau's sort of roaming the hills in search of treasure. I'll meet up with him later and see what he's got. Wait a minute, what do we got here? Could be wrong. Could be a piece of surface brass. It is. Actually, oh, it's been rolled and folded. I don't know what that is. Okay, we're just working this little camp area. What do you got here over here, Colin? A brass buckle or something?
Yeah, I just picked the grass off it, and it was just really under the grass.
Oh yeah?
It's a brass buckle.
It was a high tone. I heard the high tone. It's got a steel pin. Oh, it's got a steel roller with a brass buckle. That's a nice bit of brass actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Nice shape.
Yeah. Colleen on a live dig. She's got a scratchy signal from the top and it turned into a 65, 66 at depth. Well, let's see what comes out here. Some of that folded opium tin. It's on the right hand side of the hole by the sound of that.
Yeah. I'll just get the
Because those double D coils on the ATs, it's always off to the right. That's the, I guess that's the receive side of this coil on a double D. I like the depth on this one though. It's, the deeper the better. The deeper the better. Yep, in the side there. Not too bad, the digging here. It's a bit on the creek flats. It's a sandy silt. Oh, it's out.
Yep.
Didn't see anything come out, but it's not.
Oh, button.
Oh, it's a nice button too.
Yeah.
That was a good depth, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually.
Hmm. Little brass button. They don't seem to be branded, the ones we're finding though.
Oh, this one's got something on it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, look at that. That should clean up.
We'll subtitle the maker's name. That's the first branded one we found actually.
Yeah, nice one.
Nice work. That's a nice high tone.
Yeah.
What numbers?
63, 64. Could be a button.
Yep.
Put a glass in there.
Ooh. Sounds nice and tight and tidy and no tone roll.
Can't see a button.
Maybe a lead nugget.
That's it there.
Lead nugget.
Yep, red nugget.
Bit of camp lead.
That's a nice signal.
Yeah. The Colin's got the Max with the Nell aftermarket sharpshooter. 9.5 inch coil, double D. A little scratch here, but it's off to the side by the sound of that. Up in that wall there somewhere. Ooh, a rock. Looks like a little, the flat stones are interesting. That's why we've drifted into here. Could be part of an old Chinese fireplace or an encampment of some description. Haven't seen them come out yet, but it's on the ground. It's on the ground.
There might be a can or something in here.
Oh, is it a flat? Oh, no, it's a root. You're pulling up a tree root. Back towards you, I think, if you pull that up there. Yep. Could be a coin in a fireplace situation we've got going on here.
That'd be nice. Yep, see it.
Yep. Still the same target ID. A little bit of tone roll, but it could be sitting at a weird angle.
I'll try doing it with the pointer.
Got another button. Gee, they got a good signal. Clean, high tone. Nice.
Actually, no, I think it might be just a washer.
Oh, is it a washer though?
It's a bit off centre. It's a bit unusual
It's a worn
shape.
brass washer by the look of it.
Yeah.
Right, well, this one was a very high tone. Highest tone I got out of this little camp was 78, 79. Bumped into 80 at one point. Might be a button. Could be, here we go, bit of saddle stud. Typical brass reins or saddle piece. It's got this little brass button. It was just about, must have been nearly a sunbaker because I kicked the leaf litter and the target moved, so that wasn't buried at all. Funny how some stuff's at great depth and some in this rockier ground, I guess, doesn't penetrate any deeper and is nearly at surface level. Have a look at this ripper. It's, I think it's pewter spoon with a pointy tip and a twisty style handle, which has obviously been broken off over the years. That's probably why it was discarded. That's an unusual style of spoon. I wonder if that's, it doesn't appear to be European. It may be a Chinese style. I'll look that up and we'll see if we can get any information on it. That's an absolute ripper, that one. Didn't get this live, but it was a compact 72 and very highly conductive, obviously. A little brass button. That's like a breast pocket button or a fly button or something like that.